Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, please welcome your host, Katie Gallows.
Welcome, good morning, and bon dia. Thank you so much for joining us for the official ITB Berlin 2026 press conference. It's great to see you. Please give yourself a round of applause to kick off our press conference. It's great to see a full house again. Obrigada, thank you so much for coming. And also, of course, dear guests joining us in the live stream, good morning, good afternoon, or maybe good evening for you as well. Thanks for joining us. From whatever time zone you are joining us, please feel welcome again. And of course, it's great to have you with us, ladies and gentlemen, and look around. It is again March in Berlin, which means it's ITB time in Berlin. The ITB community and the ITB family really comes together. And I'm looking forward to our press conference now for all the insights that we will see and that we will listen to, but of course to all your questions. So please also feel invited to submit your questions already on itb.com, but also later on here on site. So let's get started, yes? And for that, I welcome here on stage the CEO of Messe Berlin, Dr. Mario Tobias.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, bon dia, to our friends from Angola. Welcome at ITB 2026. It's a great pleasure to have you all here for this very special year in the City Cube here in Berlin, because this is a real milestone. We're celebrating 60 years of ITB Berlin. Since its inception in 1966, ITB has grown from a small exhibition to the world's leading B2B platform when it comes to travel and tourism. We're bringing together people from all across the globe, from all destinations, about innovations, and all decision makers to meet here. This year's edition is even more significant, as we're not only looking to what has been achieved over the last 60 years, but we also want to look into the future of tourism. And we are the ones to shape this future. So I'm sure you have noticed that Angola is in the spotlight this year. And what it makes even more special is that Angola is here at ITB for the very first time, and they are joining us straight away at the host country, the official host country. So very warm welcome. We're pleased to welcome you, His Excellency Marcio Daniel, the Minister of Tourism of the Republic of Angola. Welcome to Berlin. And also joining us today here on the stage, Mitra Soels, Senior Vice President, Content of Focusrite. Welcome back, Mitra. And the President of the German Travel Association, Albin Leudel. Herzlich willkommen. Well, the beginning in the light of the current developments in the Middle East, all of our thoughts, of course, are with those who are directly affected, especially those who are concerned about their families and friends and colleagues. And we remain in close contact with all of them, with all of our international partners and exhibitors, and we are in ongoing dialogue to assess any potential implications that there might be. I know this situation creates uncertainty for many, and we are approaching it with responsibility and care. International participation of ITB, however, remains very strong. I will tell you about these numbers in a minute. We are grateful to welcome the global tourism community here in Berlin. And as the world's leading travel trade show, for us it's very important that ITB stands for dialogue, for mutual understanding and the unifying power of travel. We believe that tourism connects people, builds bridges, and bridges across countries and across cultures, and that we are the ones to strengthen international cooperation. So especially in challenging times like these connections are what matters most. So therefore, once again, very, very warm welcome to the biggest platform of the travel industry. So what excites me most about the ITB is seeing the tourism industry, the energy and the creativity there is, especially in the light of the current global challenges. And so over the next 3 days, we will dive into the real issues, share ideas, and explore innovations that are helping to shape the future of travel. Let me give you some of the Jubilee's highlights. We are celebrating 60 years of ITB, so therefore we've planned a lot of special activities, all under our campaign motto, "Every moment tells a story." From the official after-work party tomorrow, where you can toast with the ITP signature drink of 6 years of connections, to interactive photo moments that we will having here with vintage Volkswagen Bulli and the iconic Back to the Future DeLorean for everyone who loves that old movie. Come and share our vision for the future at the ITB Rocket and our Polaroid campaign and Goodie Bags Hunts for. Discover poster exhibition on showcasing ITB's campaign highlights for the past 60 years in Hall 4.2, and also explore Europe's changing travel dreams across another poster exhibition in the Hub 27. I believe it's always very nice to see the posters of now, but looking back 60 years, and it's always a great pleasure to see this. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we will have a 60-second applause for the people who built up this sector, who made travel a world come true for the last 60 years. And we want to celebrate them with the 60 seconds of applause. And don't miss the chance to grab a copy of the new ITB Global Travel Collection, like this. Very, very fine book with a lot of inspiring travel personas and insights into the future of tourism. Some numbers about ITB 2026. This year, ITB is buzzing with activity. We have nearly 6,000 exhibitors from over 160 countries, filling our exhibition halls to full capacity. And this event is a vibrant showcase of the most important trends and innovations in the travel industry today. Some of our key highlights include, of course, the cruise industries, the remaining a major growth area in Hall 25. The travel technology is front and center in 6 halls, with cutting-edge innovations like AI, of course, payments, hotel tech, and many more. Big players and many startups, including the ITB innovators, and demonstrating how digital transformation is reshaping our industry today and for the years to come. We have the medical and health tourism segment highlights, talking about wellness, longevity, and regenerative travel. We have luxury tourism in the Palais at the Funkturm, the home of luxury. We have the MICE Hub and the business travel area in Hall 7.2, bringing together global exhibitors and networking opportunities. The ITB Talent Hub, formerly known as a career center, focuses on the skill development of the young people, of the innovators of tomorrow. And at the ITB Buyer Circle, we are welcoming from 63 countries, thousands of important buyers that are here and want to meet their customers. More than 40% are new contacts, and this is something that our team has been working on very intensively to bring the best people here and the most important buyers in the industry. Adventure tourism, of course, is a great topic this year. Over 50 exhibitors from 27 countries are showcasing ecotourism, wildlife travel, cycling tourism, and accessible travel, with Peru being the adventure travel partner this year in 2026. Europe, of course, we see the strong delegations, not only from the DACH region, but also Italy has a very great contribution this year again. Africa, and we're not only looking to Angola today, has a diverse range of African destinations. We will have it here on the display at Messe Berlin. Africa is increasingly a key player in the global tourism market, and this is showcased here more than ever before. Asia and the Pacifics is also very strong. Thailand is the largest exhibitor here at ITB Berlin in Hall 26, and the key exhibitors from the Asian markets showcasing the latest developments and opportunities in this very dynamic market. North Africa is also very strong participants and strengthening the presence from this region. Not only Egypt and Morocco has grown again, but showing that all about the Mediterranean seas, there are a lot of beautiful destinations to visit. And the Americas, we call it Americas, from the very north, from Canada down to Patagonia, are very strong here as well at ITB 26. And of course, we will talk about this later on. We will have the first ITB Americas in November in Mexico, and of course, we're welcoming you there as well. We are continuously improving ITB Berlin to reflect the latest trends and meet the evolving needs of our industry. So let me give you some new features for this year. MIA, that 24/7 chatbot that was developed by our team, will provide instant support, answering questions about tickets, about events, about data, about the schedules, allowing you to find more efficiently the best way through ITB Berlin. The ITB Navigator and app, of course, is there for you. We have a strong commitment to responsibility tourism by welcoming ICRT Global as our new CSR partner. There's an ITB Späti. Späti is typical from Berlin. It's this inspired neighborhood culture, so it's like a little informal meeting space designed to meet, to have something to drink, to talk to other people, and we're welcoming you in Hall 7.2 for the Berlin Späti. Of course, again, we will have the ITB guided tours. This year, they will offer exclusive insights into the latest industry innovations, such as AI-powered tourism, resilient destinations, and the hidden gems of our sector. Of course, there are also ITB networking events and ITB nights, numerous events, to be honest, including the ITB Mice Night, the afterwork party that I've already mentioned, the Travel Massive Party, the ITB China's Night, and many others more. And for this year, for the first time, there's also the ITB Americas Night. I already mentioned this, that we will launch in November in Guadalajara in Mexico as the first event, the ITB Americas, to explore a totally new continent, and you're invited to join us at the ITB Americas Night as well. Of course, there's a lot to discover also behind the scenes, and therefore, exclusively for you, from the media, you're welcome to the new and exclusive Behind the Scenes tour, immediately following after this press conference at 11:30, offering I believe, unique opportunity to select stands and key areas during setup, such as the Späti that I've already mentioned, Peru, Airbnb, Trip.com, and many more. And our director of ITB, Debbie Rother, is already here, and she will kick off the tour together with you with a few welcome words. And we're also talking about politics, and not only is the Minister of Angola here today, but we will have the United Nations Ministers Summit at ITB Berlin as well. About 20 international ministers from all different countries and regions of the world are starting here in this very room at 4 p.m. And the discussions will be practical foundations required for sustainability, tourism growth, including effective governance frameworks, skill developments, and many more. And one other highlight, the leadership exchange by Focusrite, Diamitra, taking place here on the 3rd at 4:30. And where leaders, founders, investors will engage together with the think tank to explore the opportunities and risks there might be for the next 20 years of travel to come. So I believe there's a full-packed program and a lot to explore. One more word about the ITB Convention 26. This year's ITB Berlin Convention will have as a focus on the theme of leading tourism with balance. exploring how we can create sustainable growth in our sector while at the same time protecting our natural ecosystems. The convention track will feature over 400 experts in 200 sessions across 17 tracks. So that is quite a lot, and I believe everyone who wants to discuss these issues will find the right and the most important people to discuss this with. Keynote speakers and companies at the ITB convention include, for instance, Google, Muse, of course the United Tourism, Ryanair, Skift, TUI, and many, many more that I've already mentioned. And the topics include over-tourism and climate change, data, AI, experiential travel, polycrisis and resilience. I believe this is a very important topic. Longevity and well-being that I've already mentioned, inclusive travel, payment and seamless travel, and many more. So the convention also introduces a variety of new formats that are designed to offer deeper insights and practical takeaways. For example, ITB Tech Time, exploring the latest technologies, ITB deep dives that really go into the depth of all of our issues, the hospitality tracks with R&B as our official premium partners. Diversity and inclusion tracks, very important, and also the ITB Transition Lab, following up on the very great success we had in the last year. The ITB Transition Labs will dive deeper into data-driven actions, plans, and implementation strategies for sustainability in tourism. And for the second time, we are excited to present the ITB Travel and Tourism Report 26-27, and which provides key performance indicators for the tourism industry. So one word, again, before I conclude, about our host country in this year, Angola. From vibrant culture to rainforests, to deserts, to beaches, to waterfalls. We just had a nice conversation before, to a very, very modern city and capital, Luanda. Angola promises authentic experiences. And on a personal note, after immersing myself a little bit more into Angola and all the opportunities we offer in this very, very unique country, I believe, from the pictures that you see outside everywhere, the canyon and the Namib Desert and the Calandula Falls, Angola certainly earned one of the top places on my travel bucket list. I think I have to be there as soon as possible. So I'm really excited to listen what you're gonna tell us a little bit more about Angola in a minute. So once again, very warm welcome. So looking ahead, technology, sustainability, changing travel expectations will, of course, continue to shape our industry. And ITB remains the family gathering here in Berlin. Exchange ideas, build connections that really matter. So thank you for being part, not only in this celebration of 6 years of ITB, but as a partner for the years to come as well. We wish you a very successful Jubilee show, 3 full, inspiring days of business, networking, and discovery, and a lot of wonderful talks. Thank you so much, and welcome you all in Berlin.
Angola, one of the world's last great travel adventures, where untouched nature, ancient cultures, and wild beauty meet. A hidden gem that belongs on every travel bucket list. 1,600 kilometers of Atlantic coastline, endless beaches, warm, crystal clear water. Here begins the adventure. Luanda, vibrant, lively, modern. In the captivating capital, colonial history, cultural heritage, and modern lifestyle come together. Calandula Falls, the second largest waterfall in Africa, carries water year-round and is a true natural wonder. Meet elephants, giraffes, and zebras on safari in the Kisima National Park, a paradise for all in search of the unspoiled. Endless sand dunes meet the Atlantic Ocean in the Namib Desert. Just fascinating. An almost surreal atmosphere prevails around the mystical rock formations of Pedras Negras. Tundavala Gorge, breathtaking views with its dramatic cliffs, and the impressive Tundavala rock crack. colors, music, stories, a rich tapestry of traditions and languages welcomes visitors warmly. Kizomba, the soul of Angola, the dance and music captivate with its infectious rhythm.
Ladies and gentlemen, with these images, our next speaker will give us more highlights, of course, of Angola, of the partner country of ITB Berlin 2026. So I welcome the Minister of Tourism from Angola, Your Excellency, Mr. Marcio Daniel. Join me on stage. Bom dia.
Bom dia. This is saying good morning in Portuguese. Thank you very much. It's an honor being here, and I'm glad that the weather in Berlin now is more similar to Angola. That I know that 2 weeks ago it was not like that. That means that, according to my friend, the CEO and the director, Angola brought the good weather to Berlin. So that and of course, I'm waiting you to experience it more in Angola when you visit 9 months of permanent summer there. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. So, Honorable Mario Tobias, the CEO of Messe of Berlin, Honorable Mrs. Deborah Roth, the Director of ITB Berlin, dear members of the Angolan Ministry of Tourism, distinguished members of Messe of Berlin, the organization, dear journalists, thank you for this huge attendance. It's our honor to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great honor and satisfaction that Angola participates in this prestigious international fair, an event clear celebrates the 6 years of ITB Berlin, and a deep congratulations for this jubileo of ITB Berlin, which is, I consider, the mecca of tourism. And please, ladies and gentlemen, join me to a round of applause for these 6 years of ITB Berlin, please. Yeah. This is a special moment for Angola, not only because we are present at one of the largest global tourism business platforms, but also because we are the host country of ITB. Thank you very much for allowing us to be here as host country. Our participation is part of a clear strategy to position Angola globally as a destination. Under the Visit Angola brand, the rhythm of life, with the aim of showing the world the richness of our culture, gastronomy, diversity of natural resources, and the potential for investment. Our presence at ITB is part of a structured vision for the internationalization of Angolan tourism, attracting investment and consolidating strategic partnerships. We are in Germany with 220 tour operators with a differentiated offers in the various segments of the hotel and the tourism industry to show the world the best of Angola, our typical products, the richness of our gastronomy, the cultural authenticity, and the diversity of our landscape, as well as the welcome conditions. The presence of His Excellency, the Minister of State for Economic Coordination, José de Lima Massano, that we will be seeing this night at the gala, the opening gala, at the highest level demonstrates that the tourism is not just a sectorial agenda, but a strategic priority for the Angolan executive, integrated in national economic policy. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no tourism without peace. There is no hospitality without stability. And it's very important to send these messages from Berlin to the world in this very changing world in a daily basis. 50 years after the independence, Angola has enjoyed more than 2 decades of peace. This represents more than 20 years of political stability, national reconciliation, and democratic consolidation. Our president of the Republic of Angola, His Excellency João Lourenço, recently ended his term as the President of African Union, a period during which Angola hosted high-level meetings such as the African Union and the US-Africa Summit, bringing together heads of states and of the government in Luanda, demonstrating that the country's organizational capacity, institutional security, and the international community's confidence in Angola as a stage of a major political and economic decisions. We want clearly doing the My strategy for Angola. We want to transform Luanda as the meeting room of the continent, and we have the conditions to that. One of the largest international airports, we are opening next month, one of the largest conference centers. We have a visa exemptions for most of the African and Western countries, Europe and Americas, so the conditions are there, and Luanda is a very interconnected city in the continent. We have direct flights from Germany to Germany, Paris, Portugal, Dubai, Qatar, so it's a very easy. That's why we want clearly to become the Africa's meeting room. Welcome visitors is an act of trust and honor. Among various Angolan ethnic groups, there is an ancestral teaching that says, a house that receives visitors is a blessed house. In Angola, welcoming someone is not a social act. It is an expression of care, respect, and generosity. When someone announces that they are coming to visit, the family prepares. They tidy the house, choose the best food, and create a welcome environment so that the visitors feels like part of the family. This is part of Angolan tradition. This tradition present in the different regions and communities of Angola reflects the genuine hospitality that defines our countries. This is Angola. We prepare to welcome you, and we will continue to do our homework to ensure that everyone who visits us feels this blessing and genuine hospitality. Hosting is sign of a blessing house. The most visitors we receive, the more blessed we become according to African tradition. Please visit Angola. Yeah. Angola currently has a population of approximately 36 million, and approximately 62% of our population is under the age of 25, with an average age around 23. We are a young country, and this youth represent energy, creativity, and the dynamic workforce to boost the tourism sector. Although around 60% of the population lives in the urban areas, approximately 34.5% of Angolans live in the rural areas and in the interior of the country. It is precisely in these regions that cultural traditions, ritual, music, dance, craft, and ancestral gastronomy remain strongly and preserved. This demographic reality is a strategic asset, which is why Angolan culture remains alive in communities, guaranteeing authenticity for the tourists to experience we offer the world. We know that the post-pandemic tourism look and seek for authenticity in the destination. And this destination like Angola that remain unexplored and untouched can offer authenticity itself. You can immerse in a local community, in a local traditions, and it's definitely changing visitor that the visitor can make. Cultural is at the heart of our tourism strategy. Music, dance, gastronomy, national language, and the way of life of our community constitute the rhythm of life that we present and invite the world to experience. We don't just promote landscape, we promote authentic experiences. Angola is now experiencing the 30% increase in international arrivals. Clear sign of a growing confidence in our destination. As part of the efforts to improve the business environment and prepare the better welcome visitors, Angola has approved a number of structural measures. Currently, the country has offered 15,000 hotels and restaurant business distributors throughout almost the entire national territory, a number with large margins for growth, given the current policies to attract investment. These investment opportunities in the sector are listed in the tourism investment guidelines, the tourism doing business, which will be officially launched tomorrow here in Berlin during the leaders' dinners. This strategic tool presents concrete opportunities throughout the tourism value chain, from hotels, ecotourism, and support infrastructure, also detailing tax incentives, public-private partnerships, mechanism, and the legal framework applicable to investors. Let me just have a few moments talking about investments in Angola. We are asking for investors, but we have to do our homework. That's what we have done with these tourism guidelines. We have prepared not just projects to invest, but bankable projects, that when the investors come and see, they can feel the language, the spirit of a financial sector to be more confident to invest. And we have prepared it, and Angola is doing his part. As a government, we have recently approved €500 million to invest in the touristic areas, to prepare these areas for investment, preparing the roads, power, electricity, water supply, sanitation, telecommunication, so it will become easier for the investors to go and make the industry of hospitality. This is the vision, so we are not waiting just for visitors, we also want the investors to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Angola presents itself to the world as an integral part of Africa. Our goal is not only to promote Angola as a destination, but also to actively contribute to the development of tourism on the African continent, strengthening the regional cooperation and positioning Africa as one of the major hubs for global tourism growth. And allow me, Mr. Mario Tobias, you are doing ITB America. This is a challenge that I present you before this magnificent audience, that the next step should be working with Angola to do the Africa ITB. Please. You don't need to answer me now, just think it carefully, but we can host you there. Be my guest, please. Allow me finally to express our sincere gratitude to the management of ITB Berlin for associating the image of its 6th decade of celebration event with Angola, and for providing this global tourism platform for dialogue and cooperation. It's a great, great honor for us to be part of your jubilee as Angola, as host country. A word to our local partner here in Germany, the Kleber Group, that have been helping us positioning Angola as a tourism destination. This is a journey that starts 1 year, and in 1 year we have done it. We are the host country of ITB. Thank you, Kleber Group, for helping us on that. You are wonderful. Thank you very much. We reaffirm here our commitment that Angola is ready. Angola is open. Angola is rhythm. Angola is culture, youth, investment, peace, and futures. Visit Angola, the rhythm of life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Obrigada. Thank you very much. Let's continue our press conference with our next speaker. She will tell us more about the Global Travel Market Insights 2026, about the trends, the latest data. So please welcome her on stage, the Senior Vice President of Content, joining us from Focusrite, Mitra Sorrells. Mitra, stage is yours.
Thank you. Well, good morning. I am delighted to be here to represent Focusrite, part of the North Star Travel Group. We're always happy to be part of the big ITB event. And as you may know, Focusrite conducts research in about 40 markets around the world. In the next few minutes, I want to share some of our most recent findings. So let's start with the global picture. According to our Focusrite data, global travel bookings totaled $1.93 trillion last year in these markets that we measure. That's up 6% from 2024, and they are on track to reach $2.14 trillion in 2027, when online bookings will account for about 67% of that total. For our purpose, gross bookings includes air, car rental, lodging, cruise, package travel, rail, and tours and activities. We are several years beyond the pandemic rebound, and demand has normalized. But the appeal for travel clearly around the world is very clear. This growth, however, is differing by region. This data is based on the total value of leisure and business travel sold by suppliers in a particular market. And while it shows a mix of individual markets and regional groupings, the growth rate comparison is still directionally clear. In mature markets like Europe and the United States, we project compound annual growth of about 4% through 2028. Higher prices for trip components, combined with the resilience of the luxury segment, are driving a modest growth in booking value each year, despite flat or just slight increase in demand. In contrast, we project significantly faster growth in parts of the Middle East, where our research includes the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Egypt, and in India and Latin America. Rising middle-class demand, rapid digital adoption, and younger populations are fueling the growth in these markets. And in some Middle Eastern countries, in particular Saudi Arabia, government-led investment in tourism and infrastructure is certainly a major long-term driver. While performance can be influenced by geopolitical volatility in the short term, over time, we expect these dynamics will increasingly shape where the next wave of travel demand comes from and where competition intensifies. But the more consequential shift isn't geographic, it is structural. And that brings us to artificial intelligence. AI is no longer just a concept on the edge. It is now actively reshaping how trips are discovered, planned, booked, and managed. Travelers are turning to AI as a starting point, businesses are embedding it into their real workflows, and agentic systems are beginning to act on behalf of both. It is fair to say that this is both an exciting and unsettling time. We know that the major global travel brands recognize this as well. This is just a sample of some of the comments we heard on the recent earnings calls. CEOs from companies like IHG, Expedia Group, and Marriott are not framing AI as a feature upgrade. They are describing it as a potential reset of travel distribution and customer acquisition. We are also hearing them talk about the opportunities and risks of AI agents for the first time. And again, these quotes are just a sample. Nearly every company that we follow in travel across every sector, and from startups to the largest global brands, they are all trying to figure out how to succeed in this rapidly changing environment. And they are actively integrating AI into their work. Last fall, Focusrite surveyed travel executives around the world and found that 83% of travel businesses reported using AI in some capacity, with the majority using it for internal purposes, at least for now. At the same time, when we ask about budget allocation, a different picture emerges. While travel companies cite generative AI as their top tech investment priority, only 13% now allocate more than 20% of their total tech budget to AI. This suggests to us that most companies do remain in an experimentation mode. But what are we hearing from consumers? Is their behavior shifting at the same pace as the industry? These are figures from our survey conducted last year in Q2 in the UK, France, and Germany on usage of generative AI for travel planning. Keep in mind, this was nearly a year ago. Things are moving very fast. Recent data from Microsoft just released in January regarding the general usage of AI shows that these companies have a rate between 28 to 44%. So when we field our next Europe survey in April on the usage of AI for travel specifically, we definitely expect that these numbers will be materially higher. And it's also because of what we see happening in the United States, where we do conduct our surveys more frequently. Adoption is rising quickly. This is fresh data from our survey that just came out of the field in the last week. Whether it is ChatGPT, Google Gemini, or AI inside travel platforms, nearly half of all respondents tell us they are using these tools for travel. And that is up from about a third a year ago. That is a sharp year-over-year increase. We are witnessing a structural shift in how travelers find and choose where to go, how to get there, where to stay, and what to do. And while you might expect this shift to be led by Gen Z, it's actually millennials, those between the ages of about 30 and 45 years of age, that are currently the most likely to use AI for trip planning. They are often citing the time savings and the ability to cut through information overload. And here's something else that our surveys have found. Travelers who use AI are wealthier, they are more frequent travelers, and they spend significantly more on their trips. For travel brands and destinations, it is important to understand this shift in the competitive landscape. It is no longer just about competing for rankings on Google. Now everyone is trying to figure out how to be recommended by AI. It's not a simple answer, but we do know that it requires many of the same fundamentals as SEO: clean, structured data and content, strong brand, genuine authority. To sum it up, AI is no longer experimental. Consumer behavior is shifting. High-value travelers are leading the charge, and major global brands are repositioning in terms of anticipating structural change to distribution. Focusrite will continue to track and analyze these shifts, and we invite you to join us at our next two events. On March 24th, we will be hosting a new event in New York City, the Travel Marketing AI Summit. And in mid-June, we will be back in Barcelona for Focusrite Europe. And of course, you can find our full library of research, including our new report on AI that we'll be publishing in just a few weeks on Focusrite.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We will have time for questions later on in our panel. So thank you for the moment. Thank you very much. Mitra Sorrells. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, for the German Travel Industry Outlook, I welcome now on stage the President of the German Travel Association, Albin Leudl, with us.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start today by acknowledging a situation that touches us, all of us, and with a moment of reflection. We are following the developments in the Middle East with great attention and serious concern. Our thoughts are with all those affected by the current escalation. For our industry, the safety of travelers and of our partners on the ground is always the top priority. Tour operators are closely monitoring official travel advisories and remain in constant contact with local partners. We act with responsibility, caution, and care. At the same time, we sincerely hope for de-escalation and diplomatic solutions that will contribute to stability in the region. These developments remind us once again how interconnected and how fragile our global environment has become. In a world marked by tensions and uncertainty, travel connects people, and that is essential. And yet, even in times of geopolitical tension, one truth endures: the desire to travel. Germans continue to travel. In the past travel year, German travelers spent around a record 88 billion euros on pre-booked holidays. That represents an increase of 5% compared to the previous year, and almost 20 billion euros more than before the pandemic. These figures tell us that travel is an integral part of life. Let us look more closely at where the growth is taking place. One development stands out: organized travel. Package holidays and dynamic packages grew by more than 9%, reaching 43.4 billion euros in revenue. Today, almost every second euro in our market is generated by tour operators. This shift is not accidental. Security has become one of the most important booking criteria for Germans. In an uncertain world, travelers seek reliability. They value transparency, financial protection, and professional support, particularly in times of crisis. Trust has become our strongest currency. At the same time, we need to take a closer look. Yes, we see record revenues, ladies and gentlemen, but we also see increasing price sensitivity. People are committed to traveling. However, they calculate more carefully, and budgets during the stay are lighter. We see clear shifts in behavior. Travelers choose more affordable destinations. They are opting more frequently for all-inclusive offers. They travel in the shoulder season, and they book significantly earlier. Last year, more than 1 in 4 trips was booked at least 6 months in advance. Early bookings reflects anticipation, but above all, it reflects a desire of planning security, better prices, and reliability. This early booking trend is also shaping the upcoming summer season. Summer revenues at the end of January are 7% above last year's level. The numbers of travelers is up 4%. When it comes to the type of travel they choose, Germans are opting for security. Air-based package holidays are seeing particularly strong demand this summer. In uncertain times, Germans prefer to be on the safe side. The package holiday has proven its value and it remains successful. Cruise, too, are making a substantial contribution to overall growth. As for destinations, the ranking remains stable: Turkey, Spain, Greece. The Eastern Mediterranean, in particular, is driving growth and forms the backbone of this year's summer season. Long-haul travel plays a more modest role during the summer season, but it remains relevant. The Maldives, Mauritius, and Thailand continue to attract strong demand. At the same time, we see weaker demand towards Western long-haul destinations, including the Caribbean, Central and South America, and also the United States, which for many years is the preferred long-haul destinations for German travelers. Overall, one conclusion becomes clear: air travel remains the central engine of the German outgoing market. This underlines a crucial point. The travel industry is inseparably linked to aviation. Germany requires attractive and affordable air connections in order to remain internationally connected and competitive. Outgoing tourism itself is also far more than leisure. It represents economic value creation, employment, and international exchange. Let us briefly consider the broader economic environment. The German economy remains under pressure. Growth is stagnating, consumer confidence is fragile. And yet, people continue to invest in their holidays. This is remarkable, but it's not automatic. Travel depends on income security, employment stability, and on economic confidence. The numbers send a clear signal. The desire to travel is strong. But to ensure that travel remains affordable, sustainable, and accessible to broad partners of society, we need economic stability, competitive conditions, and affordable mobility. But above all, what mattered most is security and peace. In the end, travel does not more than just move people, ladies and gentlemen. Travel connects the world, and today it is more important than ever. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leudel. Join me here on stage, and please, to my previous speakers, join me here on stage as well, as we are diving into our Q&A section. Wonderful. Your Excellency, absolutely. So now it's time, of course, dear colleagues from the press, to your questions. We will move into the Q&A session. You're kindly invited to also submit your questions online. Please also state your name, the media outlet you represent, and indicate whom you're addressing it to. And with a quick look into the time, I'm very German with the timekeeping now today, so please be very precise. Excuse me here, but please be very precise with your question, right? And for members of the media, also, we have a microphone here on site, so please use the microphone so we can all hear you well. Before I get a quick overview, Mitra, I start with you quickly. You mentioned, of course, AI and the rise of AI. Everybody's talking about it. Travel brands and destinations, they should, of course, take a lot of steps to maximize their visibility when we talk about AI-powered search and booking environments. Yes. What would be your top recommendation? And please, you give me a hand if you have a question.
Yes, for sure. This is the question everyone's trying to answer, I think. As we said, even the biggest global brands are trying to understand what they need to do. I would characterize it in 3 ways. I would say there needs to be clarity structure, and credibility. And just briefly, what I mean by that, clarity in the content that you're putting out there, answering real traveler questions, trying to understand what someone might be putting into one of these AI platforms. We know that it's a much longer natural language search, so what might they be asking, and how can you, as a brand or a destination, answer their questions? Structure, as far as, again, that machine-readable data, clear metadata, clear attributes. We know that a beautiful website or a wonderful app is no longer enough, because an AI agent or an AI system doesn't necessarily care how beautiful your website is. And then finally, that credibility piece around reviews, partnerships, certainly coverage from authoritative news outlets, can all be very helpful in getting that visibility.
Great. Thank you for these top recommendations. And of course, there will be more deep dives along the ITB convention as well, for sure. Okay, so it's now your turn. I see one hand here at the center. Now it's a race for the questions, and I see two hands. So please, we start with the gentleman in the third row. Please be precise and tell us what your question is. Thank you.
Yes, hello. My name is Ralf Krüger, former DPA correspondent, now freelancer for Focus and FAZ. I would like to raise a question that everybody, I think, is expecting and that you raised already. What will be, in your opinion, the direct impact of the escalation that is happening in the Middle East right now? Thanks.
Thank you very much. So we start with that question. And I'm looking to you, Mr. Loyal. I think this is a very intense time, times of crisis, geopolitical, structural changes. So what is your take on that?
I guess for today, it's too early to make a forecast about the next situation coming up. Our main priority is to stay in touch with all our clients via our tour operators. We are working together conversationally with the Federal Travel and Foreign Office, so that we have all the information and we give the information to all our clients in this area. So to make a forecast, it's too early.
I have one more question here on the second row, please, to the colleague with the microphone. Yes, the gentleman with the jacket. Despite the Angolan temperature here in the room. Wonderful. And then we switch quickly to an online question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Eoghan Steinmetz. I'm from ITB News here in Berlin now. We moved from Honolulu, for those that know us. But I'm very pleased to see Angola. Where have you been all these years? My one question. My second question is, some of you who know me know that I started the African Tourism Board back in 2018. How do you see interaction with other African destinations and joint initiatives? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. This question is directly towards you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have been hiding. We were sleeping in the oil production, but now we have find this green oil. We call it tourism. That's why we are focused on tourism development. As African, we think that the time for competition among African countries is in the past. We are now working in cooperation. We want to present Africa as a destination, secure, diverse, and authentic. That's why we are working together among African ministries of tourism and doing some things very interesting. I will put some examples to you. We belong to a region that hosts 70% of elephants population in the world, Okavango Zambezi Transfrontier and Conservation Area. So we create this Transfrontier Conservation Area, CASA project, and what we have done is create a single brand to advertise this area. So the countries like Angola, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, they have the same brand for the area. We want that the visitors that goes to Zambia can also experience the Angolan side of Okavango Transfrontier Conservation Area. Then go to Namibia, Zimbabwe, on all this area. And we have put together the Casa Visa, which is a visa. If you go to one country, you don't need to apply to another. So this is a sign of cooperation between African countries in order to develop. We want that a tourist that go to one country can experience other, and these joint tours that we are creating can increase it. In this section, we will be presenting a tour that starts in Etosha in Namibia and goes all the way to Angola until the Calandula Falls. So this is why we present. And then we are definitely here. We was hiding, but Angola is now the rhythm of life. Please visit Angola. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before I come to your question in the last row, Your Excellency, I stick with you because the online question also was guided towards you. Which traveler segments does Angola want to attract first? You mentioned, the business already, but here it says adventure, culture, beach holiday makers, or mice. Maybe you can give us a glimpse quickly on that before we turn to that question.
Okay, thank you. I will be brief on that. Angola. We in Angola, we have a special country because in the north we have tropical forests. The same you find in Uganda and Rwanda with gorillas. We also have gorillas. We have a big 5 plus gorillas, so it's a very special country. We have a tropical forest in the north. We have 1,650 kilometers of a virgin coast, beautiful beaches. And in the south, we have the oldest desert in the world, the Namib Desert. And we also belongs to the Okavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area. What I'm trying to tell is that we have a very diverse products to offer. But the priority, of course, will be the sun and beach to develop. But what is interesting, recently, the president has authorized €500 million to infrastructure some areas. One of these areas is Kabuledo. Kabuledo is good for beach, and we have the longest surf way in southern Africa for surf. And in that area, we will be doing sun and beach. But 20 minutes from Kabuledo, you have the Kisama National Park. So you do safari. From the beach, 20 minutes, you are in safari. In half an hour, you are in one of the biggest sanctuary of Africa, which is Mushima. You do religious tourism. So it's a combination.
I think we're all going to come very soon to get this combination of sun, beach, and business.
You're not a hidden gem anymore. You are a pearl of Africa. No hidden gem anymore.
Your Excellency. There is so much more to tell, I know, but time is running. So I just quickly have one more question. Please be very precise with your question.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Monika Eoghan. I'm a freelance journalist, also working for newspapers like Frankfurter Rundschau. And Your Excellency, you already mentioned a lot of benefits and advantages that Angola can offer to a traveler. But on the other hand, I mean, there are so many people who still have, that's no longer justified, but who still have this idea in mind that Angola is a country where there has been a long war going on, and we just heard this keyword still is a criteria for many travelers, especially for the Germans, as we heard. Also, from what I know, you mentioned the national parks, but you still have problems with landmines or remaining landmines. So what are you going to do to change that reputation, that image, and also some practical steps to make it more safe for travelers to come to your country?
Safety, security, I just want to be fair. Maybe there's one question here, the lady here in that part, because I didn't want to dismiss you here. Maybe we can give you the microphone, please? And then we combine these two questions with a wrap-up answer.
Should I stand up?
Yes, it's
Hi,
Thank you.
Alice Kanterian, Revista Rarat. Hi, I would like to address my question to Mitra. You just spoke before about AI impact on the travel market. What about actually the humanoid robots? When are they going to be visible already? I mean, I'm sure they probably somewhere hidden and they're getting trained. But when are you going to start to see the robots integrating in the travel market?
Yeah, can we start with that one first, Mitra, and then we come to you with the security question?
And I want to make sure I understood. When are we going to see
the humanoid robots?
Humanoid robots. Oh my goodness.
When we talk about AI, implementation of AI, maybe the robots also need sunshine. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I will preface this by saying I am not an expert on what is happening with robots today. I do know that there is a lot happening, certainly in the hospitality space. We have heard for several years about hotel companies, many in Asia, that are using robots as far as housekeeping and service and things such as that. So, I think things are moving very, very fast. I don't venture to guess when we're going to be seeing more as far as robots actually impacting travel and distribution.
Thank you for that. Your Excellency, when we talk about the big topic, of course, of our time, security, what are your concerns, but also what would you like to share with the audience and the press?
Thank you very much. I was waiting for this question because it's an opportunity to present Angola. Angola is definitely one of the safest countries in the region. Of course, we, as the previous question, we were sleeping in the oil, so we did not put together a strategy to communicate Angola as itself is. We was, very sleepy, getting the resource from oil, and the world doesn't know where Angola exactly is. So the news, the reputation, it belongs to Angola that is in the past for 20 years ago. Because we was at the war, so a lot of mine landscape. So I would ask Prince Harry from UK, because he's doing amazing work with Angola, with the Elo Trust on the mining, and all the areas that used to be mined now are declared mine-free. And in terms of safety, Angola is definitely one of the safest countries. We have a political stability. We go into elections every single year. After elections, this is a normal life going on. We are going to election next year. And yeah, definitely we have a lot of work to do in terms of changing the narrative about the instability of the country, but definitely this is Angola that belongs for 20 years ago. And many of the journalists that are here have done the press trip, the farm trip to Angola, visiting the areas, and now they are telling the world what the Angola that we want to present to the world.
What a beautiful start to be here at ITB Berlin 2026. Thank you very much. And of course, we dive in the last round with a lens to the Middle East and of course the tourism situation in the Middle East. So, Mr. Leudel, the question of course comes again, the question towards you, how will you see the tourism in the region of the Middle East changing? Do you see it rather decreasing than increasing? Again, you don't have a forecast with you in your pocket, but again, zoom it in because I think this is of high interest for the press.
Yeah, as I've just explained, we have now day number 2 or number 3 in this conflict, and what we want to have is the de-escalation, and it's really too early to make any forecast how its impact will have for the next days, months or weeks coming for the tourism industry in this region. We are observing the situation, we are in contact with our clients, that's our top priority, and we can't make today any forecasts about what's going on the next weeks and months concerning the traffic, air traffic, and the people and the tourists coming to the Middle East.
Dr. Mario Tobias, you haven't had a question yet, so I have a question for you. You had enough time to think about the question of His Excellency. ITB Africas, how does it sound?
It sounds great, and while we were talking about this, I just looked to both of my colleagues and we said, maybe we have to think about it. You know, ITB is a great family, and this is the mother show, 60 years of ITB in Berlin, and then we established fantastic shows in Singapore for the Pacific and Asian markets, in Shanghai for the greater China market, and now we're going to the Americas for the very first time in this very year. And this is what I was addressing to Mitra, I saw like LATAM, I thought about India, about Middle East, and where's Africa? And you said, well, we do not have enough data by now, but maybe this is exactly what you mentioned, and also with the other African countries that we see in displaying here in ITB Berlin. Maybe we really have to open up our mind and maybe take a closer look on the South Saharan countries in Africa. So that would definitely be an idea that we will be discussing about. Not for next year. That would be too fast. But I'm really happy to stay in contact about that.
Thank you to all of you. This is a beautiful cliffhanger. This is your round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. Stay with me. Stay seated. Stay with me in a second. Thank you very much. I saw so many more questions. I know it's always a run against the time, but I have good news for you. You can also submit your questions via email to presse-itb@messe-berlin.de. It will be answered throughout the day, so please make sure to send your questions. Thank you very much. Obrigada and safe travels, as always, also to you joining us in the live stream.